Okay, Year 9. So today you're going to be covering two ideas with straight lines, and it's the last little thing you need to know before your quiz next Tuesday. One thing is midpoint. We need to look at the midpoint of a line. So the midpoint of a line, it's the coordinate point that is exactly halfway along the line. So if I have a look at this example that I've got here, if I kind of cut that red line in half somewhere, approximately there, I want to be able to know is what is the coordinates, the values of that point there. Remember, that's just an approximation. And the way that I do that, it's very similar to what we did previously. The first thing we're going to do is, like we did with gradient, you're going to find the rise for me. So remember this one here, it starts at 0 and it goes up 8 units. So its rise equals, remember, it's positive 8. Half of 8 is 4. So if I come across from halfway, at that point there, that's the halfway of the rise of this graph. Now let's look at its run. Its run, again, it's going to go from here and we're going to go across. How far does it run across? Well, it starts at -1 and it goes to 6, so it has a run of 7. But half of 7, that's not a nice number. 7 divided by 2, it's a nice number, it's just not nice and clean. It's 3.5. So I need to be, where am I going? 3.5 to there and 3.5 to there. 6 take away 3.5, well, that equals 2.5, and -1 plus -1 plus 3.5 equals 2.5. So this coordinate point here, that point that I marked down here, is 2.5. So we say our midpoint, capital M, is going to be our x coordinate, 2.5, our y coordinate, 4. So the midpoint of this line is 2.5, 4. There is another way we can do this. We don't always have to draw the rise over run, but it's a nice way to be able to do it. But another way here is by finding an average. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my x coordinates and I'm going to add them together. -1 plus 6. And -1 plus 6 is 5. And then 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Now I get my y coordinates. Remembering our y coordinates are the second part, 8 and 0. I'm going to add them together. 8 plus 0 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. That's another way we can do it. What's what we call finding the average of the 2 points. We get both our x and add them together, divide by 2. And we get both our y together and divide by 2. Make sure you pause right now, get this done, get this written down, this example, complete the questions on midpoint, and then come back to the video to figure out how we do distance. All right, now you're back. The distance, or how long or the length of a line is on a number plane, well, we calculate that by using Pythagoras' theorem. And again, we're just going to start off with doing what we did previously. We're going to find rise over run. The first thing I'm going to do, not find rise over run, but we're going to use our rise over run. So I'm going to get the rise. Remember, this one is going downhill, so my rise is a negative number, but I don't care that it's negative. I'm just looking at this one here. It starts at 8 and it goes down to -4. So that's 8. That's 4. So it has a rise of -12. Looking at its run goes across to here. Its run goes from -6 to -1. It has a run of 5. So now just off to the side, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw just quickly, oh, that was dodgy, a right angle triangle that's 12 high and 5 wide. I'm going to call that C because the length of our line here in Pythagoras' theorem ends up being the hypotenuse. So what we're going to get here is C squared equals A squared plus B squared. Substitute what our A and B is, 12 squared plus 5 squared, and 12 squared plus 5 squared. Do it on our calculator and we get 169. But that's not how long that line is. Remember, the final step in Pythagoras is to square root it. So C is equal to the square root of 169. So C is 13 units long. That line is 13 units long. We just used Pythagoras to figure out our hypotenuse in our right angle triangle. But to do that, we just used our skills of rise over run again.